In 1994, America was obsessed with the spectacle of crime. We were glued to our television sets watching the O.J. Simpson Bronco chase and the Menendez brothers trial. Real life was beginning to look like a twisted reality show. Enter Oliver Stone. Fresh off the political intensity of JFK, Stone didn't just want to make a movie about two serial killers. He wanted to create a mirror that would reflect the ugliness of our own obsession back at us. The result was Natural Born Killers, a film so aggressive, so visually disorienting, and so controversial that it remains a lightning rod for debate over 30 years later. But the madness on the screen was matched by a production that felt like a descent into insanity. From Quentin Tarantino's public disavowal of the project to a chaotic set involving real inmates and 18 different film formats, the behind-the-scenes story is a masterpiece of chaos in its own right. Today, we are breaking down 12 in-depth, weird, and wild facts about the film, the cast, and the crew of Natural Born Killers. Let's head into the 12 chapters of chaos. Starting with number 1, the Tarantino divorce. The DNA of this film started with a young, pre-Pulp Fiction Quentin Tarantino. His original script was a much more straightforward, dialogue-heavy road movie, focused on the romance between Mickey and Mallory. However, when Oliver Stone took the reins, he and his writing team, including David Veloz and Richard Rutowski, transformed it into a hallucinatory social satire. Tarantino was reportedly devastated. He felt the heart of his story had been ripped out and replaced with a fever dream. He fought a public battle to have his name removed from the screenplay credits, eventually settling for a story by credit. To this day, Tarantino remains vocal about his distaste for the final product, viewing it as a betrayal of his original characters. Number 2, the Stateville prison riot. To capture the visceral, terrifying energy of the prison sequences, Oliver Stone didn't build a set on a backlot. He took the production to Stateville Correctional Center in Illinois, a maximum security facility. For the massive riot scene, Stone didn't just use SAG actors. He utilized actual inmates as extras. The tension was palpable. Some of these men were serving life sentences for violent crimes similar to those portrayed in the film. Stone reportedly enjoyed the dangerous energy this brought to the set, but for the cast and crew, it was a constant reminder that the violence they were simulating had very real-world parallels just beyond the camera lens. Number 3, the toxic directorial style. Oliver Stone is known for his gonzo directing style, but on Natural Born Killers, he took it to an extreme. He wanted the actors to feel the same disorientation as the audience, so he created a high-stress, toxic environment. He would blast aggressive industrial music between takes, use air horns to startle the actors, and intentionally give conflicting directions to keep the cast in a state of agitation. Woody Harrelson later noted that the atmosphere was physically and mentally exhausting, described by some crew members as a war zone. Stone believed that by breaking down the actors' comfort zones, he could extract the raw, unpolished performances required for such an avant-garde film. Number 4, the 3,000 cut nightmare. If you feel overwhelmed watching the movie, thank the editing team. The film is famous for having nearly 3,000 individual cuts. In the early 90s, before digital editing was the standard, this was a Herculean task. It took a team of editors 11 months to piece together the montage from hell. Stone wanted to simulate the feeling of a channel surfing addict, where images of violence, commercials, and cartoons all bleed into one another. This frenetic pacing was revolutionary for its time, influencing the aesthetic of music videos and action films for the next decade. But it nearly broke the post-production crew in the process. Number 5, Robert Downey Jr.'s manic method. Long before the MCU, Robert Downey Jr. was delivering one of the most eccentric performances of his career as Wayne Gale. To prepare for the role of the sleazy, ratings-obsessed journalist, Downey Jr. shadowed legendary Australian tabloid reporter Steve Dunleavy. He adopted Dunleavy's aggressive interviewing style and a shifting Australian accent that seemed to fluctuate based on how, on the air, the character felt. Downey Jr. improvised a significant portion of his dialogue, including the frantic, high-pitched rants during the prison riot, perfectly capturing the idea of a man who has become a caricature of his own media persona. Number 6. The I Love Mallory sitcom. Perhaps the most disturbing sequence in the film is the portrayal of Mallory's childhood abuse through the lens of a 1950s-style sitcom. To make this feel authentic, Stone actually filmed it in front of a live studio audience. He encouraged them to behave like a standard sitcom crowd, clapping and laughing on cue. The weird part? He instructed the laugh track to trigger during the most horrific moments of domestic abuse. This juxtaposition was Stone's way of critiquing how television sanitizes and packages trauma for public consumption, turning a family's destruction into a punchline. Number 7. Rodney Dangerfield's confusion. In a stroke of casting genius or madness, Stone hired legendary comedian Rodney Dangerfield to play Mallory's father. Dangerfield, known for his I Get No Respect routine, was completely out of his element. He reportedly didn't understand the script, the satire, or why he was being asked to play such a monster. He spent much of his time on set asking, "When do I get to be funny?" or "Where are the jokes?" Ironically, his genuine confusion and his attempt to play the character with a perverse comedic timing made the performance infinitely more unsettling. He wasn't playing a villain. He was playing a man who thought his own cruelty was a gag. Number 8. The diner nose break. The energy on the set of the opening diner scene was so high that it resulted in real-world injury. Juliettelewis, who was fully committed to Mallory's unpredictable nature, was filming a struggle with an actor playing one of the rednecks harassing her. In the heat of the moment, the choreography went awry, and Lewis accidentally broke the actor's nose. Rather than stopping, Stone encouraged the actors to keep going to capture the truth of the violence. It was a moment that proved the line between the performance and the reality of the set was incredibly thin. Number 9. The Trent Reznor soundscape. Oliver Stone realized that a visual assault needed an equally aggressive auditory landscape. He tapped Trent Reznor of Nine Inch Nails to produce the soundtrack. Reznor didn't just pick songs. He created a sonic collage. He reportedly watched the film over 50 times, meticulously layering industrial tracks, Leonard Cohen ballads, and snippets of dialogue to create a continuous stream of sound. This soundscape approach meant there was almost no silence in the film, heightening the audience's sense of anxiety and contributing to the feeling that you are trapped inside Mickey and Mallory's collective subconscious. Number 10. The Coca-Cola scandal. One of the most famous accidents in film history involves the Coca-Cola polar bears. The company gave Stone permission to use their footage, assuming it was for a standard feature film. They were horrified to find that Stone had intercut their wholesome, family-friendly mascots with scenes of bloody massacres and decapitation. The juxtaposition was meant to show how corporate advertising coexists with real-world violence. But Coca-Cola didn't see the artistic merit. They reportedly considered legal action, but by then, polar bear transition had already become an iconic part of the film's visual language. Number 11. The global ban and copycats. Natural-Born Killers is one of the most censored films in history. It was delayed or outright banned in countries like Ireland and the UK for months due to fears that it would inspire copycat killings. Several real-life crimes were unfortunately linked to the film by the media, most notably the 1995 crime spree of Sarah Edmondson and Benjamin Darras. This led to a massive legal battle, where the film's creators were sued for inciting violence. While the lawsuits were eventually dismissed on First Amendment grounds, the film remains a central case study in the debate over media responsibility and artistic freedom. Number 12. The 18 format experiment. To achieve the disorienting, bad trip look of the film, Stone and cinematographer Robert Richardson used a staggering 18 different film formats. This included 35mm, 16mm, Super 8, and even black and white reversal film. They utilized back projection, where a scene is projected behind the actors to create an artificial, dreamlike quality. By constantly switching formats and colors, Stone ensured the audience could never get comfortable. You weren't just watching a movie. You were experiencing the visual equivalent of a schizophrenic break. The epilogue. The mirror hangs heavy. Natural Born Killers is not an easy film to watch. It was never meant to be. It is a loud, ugly, brilliantly executed attack on the senses and the soul. Oliver Stone took the story by Quentin Tarantino and turned it into a prophecy of the 24-hour news cycle and the celebrity criminal era we live in today. From Rodney Dangerfield's tragic confusion to the literal broken bones of the cast, every frame of this film was fought for with a kind of manic intensity that we rarely see in Hollywood today. It remains a masterpiece of the experimental, a warning about the media, and a fever dream that America still hasn't quite woken up from. So what's your take? Is this a visionary critique of our culture, or did Stone go too far? Let us know your thoughts in the comments below. If you want more deep dives into the films that push the boundaries of cinema, make sure to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell. Thanks for watching.